Hi everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Human Trafficking Hater. On today's episode, I'm going to give you the top 5 facts about human trafficking in the United States. Make sure you watch to the end, because all of these facts are important to know and help you better understand what human trafficking looks like here in the States. Also, at the end, I will have a few bonus facts for you. And if you enjoy this episode and find value in this type of content, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button as well, because there are new episodes every week and you don't want to miss them. Now, on with the episode. There are at least 25 types of human trafficking taking place in the United States right now, according to the nonprofit Polaris. These include forced prostitution, escort services, forced pornography, carnival work, construction, hospitality industries, landscaping, and more than a dozen other types of trafficking that are taking place within the United States borders every day. The legal definition of human trafficking consists of an action, a means, and a purpose. This was first established by the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000, commonly referred to as the TVPA. Since 2000, this has been updated several times by the federal government and still stands as the national definition of human trafficking. The actions that make up human trafficking include harboring and obtaining, along with transporting and other actions as well, while the means of trafficking requires the trafficker to use force, fraud, or coercion. And lastly, the purpose must be for commercial gain through someone's labor or commercial sex act. Importantly, all 3 of these elements must be in place for a human trafficking case to exist. Out of all identified human trafficking cases across the United States, the number 1 means of trafficking individuals was coercion. That means that traffickers identified and exploited victims' vulnerabilities more than they used fraud or force to compel them into modern-day slavery. And you heard that correct. Victims initially enter human trafficking without any force being used. This might seem unimaginable, but traffickers are experts at exploiting people, and especially those who are vulnerable. 17 is the average age of entry into sex trafficking in the United States. That means that most victims that are sex trafficked and identified in the United States started being trafficked as children. And while 17 is the average age of entry into sex trafficking, there were more than 80 victims identified in the U.S. in 2019 alone that were human trafficking victims and under the age of 8 years old. This leads us to our number 1 fact. In 2019, more than 80% of identified human trafficking victims in the United States were children. These victims were disproportionately females. And the fact that children make up such a majority of sex trafficking victims is unsurprising when we consider that the second most exploited vulnerability used against victims was being a runaway and or youth who was without housing. Sadly, these children are not only at risk out in the streets, because the second most used recruit tactic to get someone into sex trafficking was a family member coercing, defrauding, or forcing a victim into life. That means that youth in the United States are being trafficked by family members and strangers out on the streets. This fact alone makes it critical that we offer comprehensive sex education in the schools that discusses what human trafficking really looks like and how to respond when you find yourself or someone else in a high-risk situation. Now, on for a few bonus facts. Bonus fact number 1. While family members could be potential traffickers for kids, family and friends were the groups most likely to identify victims and help them escape. Family and friends helped free more victims than law enforcement in 2019. This is a great reason to know what trafficking really looks like and how to respond correctly, because as family and friends, we can all be a part of the solution. Bonus fact number 2. The number 1 way women were trafficked for sex in the United States was through escort services, then massage parlors, and third was prostitution. Bonus fact 3. Since 2007, the National Human Trafficking Hotline has identified more than 60,000 human trafficking situations in the United States. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, as the federal government estimates that as many as 50,000 people are trafficked into the U.S. every year. That is all for this episode, but let me know in the comment section what you thought about this top 5 facts of human trafficking in the United States. Did I miss an important fact? Do you think I should have included something else here? Let me know your thoughts. And remember, there are new episodes every week and you don't want to miss them, so make sure you click the subscribe button now. Thanks for watching.